Yeah.
But you can get past it and just listen to what he's saying. He makes a pretty incredible argument for the fact that maybe all this tariff talk isn't so crazy after all.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You ready?
Let's go.
So this clip is a little bit long. It's about 3 minutes long, but bear with him. He makes some really, really solid points.
Okay, and we'll break it all down.
We'll break it all down.
Whenever you think of Trump, his economic plan makes complete sense. The US has 36 trillion in debt. In 2025, they will spend 6 trillion, but will only collect 4 trillion in revenue. So they need to borrow 2 trillion, and this will increase their debt to 38 trillion. Trump economic plan is based on 3 levers. Number 1, cut expenses by 1 trillion, which is Doge, Elon Musk. He's targeting waste and fraud, like social security payments for people who are 150 years old. That is just fraud. 2, increasing revenue by 1 to 2 trillion through, number 1, tariffs. They will increase tariffs from 50 billion to 500 billion target. People will say, but other countries will retaliate. They will not be able to do it. The US is the biggest customer on earth. They consume 20 trillion every year. They are the biggest importer. They import 3 trillion every year. Plus, the current tariffs is actually not fair. Why should US cars entering Europe faces 10% tariffs, while the European cars entering the US just pay 2.5%? It's not fair. And because of the tariff changes, it now makes economic sense to build factories and businesses inside the US again. That means more jobs, means tax-paying businesses, and more foreign investment coming in. He will also increase revenue by deregulation. He will remove unnecessary regulations and rules, making it easier to do business, so business can grow faster, generate more tax revenues. He also make this gold card, which is offering lifetime US residency for 5 million. I think at least 1 or 2 million individuals globally can afford it. So if just 10% of them, if just 100,000 people buy this card, that's 1 trillion in incremental revenue. The third lever is he will reduce taxes. If he successfully cut 1 trillion in waste and expenses and add 1 to 2 trillion in revenue, the US will have a surplus. They will have more money than they want. So he will cut taxes. For individuals, anyone gaining more than 150K, he will make them pay 0 taxes. And on corporate taxes, he will go down from the current 21% to 15%, compared to the European average of 22%. France average is 25, I think, and Germany is 30. So at 15% corporate tax, the US will become one of the most business attractive countries on earth. Bottom line, this is exactly how government should be run, efficiently. Because when you eliminate waste, the money can actually go where it is actually needed, to the elderly, to the sick, to people who cannot work. And that is the real purpose of government, to protect the weak. Very few countries have the political will to do it. It takes leaders with backbone, charisma, and clarity of vision. Do you have leaders in your country pushing for real reform, or are they talking about non-relevant side topics? And let me know if you think Trump plan is bad.
All right, so I'll leave that there. But man,
There's a lot to unpack there.
First of all, why isn't this guy running for president? You know what I mean? Forget the rules to be born here. You know?
Yeah.
At least here's my problem. Right out the gate, I thought to myself, let's say this is true, and I don't think that it's not true. Let's say that it's true.
Okay.
This is this man who I don't know, in a matter of just under 3 minutes, can articulate a strategy to the American people in a way that our own executive office has not articulated. Why? Why hasn't someone come out and say, like, this is our strategy?
Just keep it this simple, right? Yeah, he broke it down very well.
Why not? Why not just have a press conference and be like, look, I understand the idea of tariffs are scary. I understand that you might be concerned with some of the things that I, as your president, am doing.
Mm-hmm.
But here is why. These 3 points in and of themselves, they're fantastic. Everybody would want that. If they just, most Americans aren't sitting there thinking to themselves, okay, what could the upside be to these tariffs?
Okay.
They're saying, I feel like we're in a recession.
I feel like there should be, it'd be nice if there were some models laid out to show us, okay, this is where this could go and this is how it could be beneficial versus everybody just hearing about it.
Have you seen the numbers of the this gold card thing they've already sold?
1,000 so far.
1,000.
1,000. That's $5 billion.
$5 billion.
That's just $5 billion. I get it. $5 billion is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, bro.
But let's just say this. The amount of, $5 million gold card.
Are you really going to diminish how valuable this has been already?
No. Hold on.
It's W. It doesn't matter where he goes from here.
No, I've seen the numbers. I've seen the numbers on this. It's overestimated. Okay, and completely No. It's completely Chris, you know this. Come on. How many people around the world could even afford this? Okay.
I mean, he covered that.
Yeah. How many? There's around like 9 million people around the world that could even contemplate affording it, right? The fact that it's already out and we only have 1,000 people willing to sign up.
It's early.
Chris.
It's like a sale at Macy's. Oh, too soon. They're going out of business.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Oops. I wouldn't hold your breath on this solving the problem. No.
I'm not saying it's solving the problem. I'm just saying it's another way the government can create money without any additional cost. Keep in mind, this is not costing us more money.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form. They're selling the same product at a higher cost, and they're just saying, we'll cut the red tape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're doing less work.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that it's the best for OFAC and for, terrorists.
There's real concerns there, and you hope that, everyone does their due diligence to make sure that money doesn't get laundered here.
I hear you. You know? But what I'm saying is look, like, the way this was presented, it was presented in a way where, he was probably sales pitching a little bit. But he says, look, tariffs are unfair internationally. They're unfair.
It is unfair.
Why should we be, exporting cars that we're paying way higher tariffs on,
like 10%, and we're getting 2.5%.
2.5% back whenever they bring cars here? Why are we incentivizing people to import cars here and costing them less money? Because keep in mind, they pay the tariffs on our charges, right?
And the thought process is, we increase the tariffs that much, they're forced to open manufacturers here, create more jobs.
Which has been happening. Apple's committed. Lots of car manufacturers committed.
Apple's committed?
Apple's committed to they had like a big announcement.
Oh, really? I thought they're backing off their stance on making an Apple car. I felt like...
No, not on cars. But Apple committed to open up a manufacturing plant here. Apple manufacturing. I got the podcast in real time with a laptop in front of me. I'm basically Jamie and Joe Rogan. Who are you?
You're Patrick Bet-David here? Just Googling on the fly? Look, a lot of the stats that he says is true, and we've talked about it on the show.
Here we go. In response to potential tariffs on Chinese imports, Apple pledged a $500 billion investment in U.S. facilities, including a new server manufacturing facility in Houston, Texas. Shout out to H-Town. And expanding existing data centers, aiming to create 20,000 jobs. That's a W, bro.
There's W. And in Texas, too, because I believe the minimum wage in Texas is significantly less.
Why are you trying to take everything down? You wanted a positive
I'm just saying,
show.
no, I'm trying to make sense of it all, right? Well, obviously, they're not going to do it here in California.
You literally said to me, Chris, I want a positive show. And everything I'm saying to you positive, you're just poo-pooing.
I'm not poo-pooing. They're doing a good job.
You poo-pooed. You poo-pooed twice.
A lot of people,
multiple poo-poos.
But a lot of companies, you get the PGA headquarters.
Better